Today, we're diving into the magical world of Harry Potter, and I am bringing some muggles along for the journey. Now, my family's never seen Harry Potter before, so I thought the best way to welcome them into the wizarding world is with a full Hogwarts-style feast. Now, I'm planning a marathon for them, and if they're going to experience the magic for the first time, I want to do it properly with some great food to go along with it. While I cook, I'll explore how each of these dishes connects to the Harry Potter world, and by the time my family comes home in 6 hours, we'll sit down to a feast and journey through the wizarding world with a legendary trio. By the end of the night, we'll have full bellies, and my family will finally understand why people love Harry Potter so much. Now, the first memorable food moment in the whole series isn't even whenever we get to Hogwarts. It's in that tiny hut in the middle of a storm whenever Hagrid bursts through the door to see Harry and brings him a cake. It says, "Happy birthday, Harry," in green letters with some pink frosting. And yes, it's misspelled and a little squished from the trip, but it's perfect for Harry. And once you start to think about everything that led up to it, that cake really does start to hit you in the feels. For 11 years, Harry didn't get anything of his own. He always got the hand-me-downs from Dudley, and he never got any real meals because Snorlax and Munchlax ate everything, just leaving him scraps. And now here's this half-giant who he doesn't even know showing up with a homemade cake and telling him something that changes his life forever.
You're a wizard, Harry.
And this is probably the first kind thing done for Harry that he can actually remember. And what I love most is that it's not a magical cake. It's not enchanted to sing or to sparkle, it's just a regular chocolate cake. And that just makes it so much better because it shows that the magic that's in this world isn't just about spells or potions. It can also come from somebody taking the time to do something kind for you. And when I finished this cake, I wanted it to look amateurish, and that wasn't too hard since I've probably baked about 10 cakes in my life. Now, after getting his supplies in that long train ride to Hogwarts, the first big meal that we see is the Great Hall Feast, and that scene always seems to make me hungry. There were long tables, golden plates, hundreds of candles floating above, and food appearing out of nowhere. For a kid that was watching this in the early 2000s, it was unreal. And heck, even now as an adult, it still kind of is. And I remember my grandmother taking me to see this movie, and after watching that scene, I wanted a big bowl of mashed potatoes with a boat of gravy to go with it. And once you really start to look at the food, it's not anything that's special or wild. It's just hearty British food. You got mashed potatoes, roasted meat, Yorkshire pudding, and tons of pudding. And not actual pudding, it's just a British term for desserts. The setting of Hogwarts seemed ancient, but you know that every bite of that food tasted good. And it's the kind of meal that you'd want after a long day while it's raining outside, eating in some cozy PJs with a fireplace going. And that's what makes this food so brilliant. Hogwarts is this mysterious and intimidating place for Harry, but the food instantly makes it feel like home, having dinner with friends and sharing some laughs. And that's why I love how J.K. Rowling built this world. She used these ordinary foods to make extraordinary settings feel real for her readers and viewers. Now, some of the more prominent foods that I see at the table are roasted chicken and Yorkshire pudding. And these are the dishes that make every feast feel real, even though there are ghosts flying around, and some of them looking like a barber took it too literally whenever they said take some off the top. And Yorkshire pudding's kind of misunderstood, mainly by the US. It's not something that's sweet. It's this light and airy roll that has a pleasant crisp and is perfect for soaking up some gravy. And it's basically the British version of a dinner roll. And it's the kind of thing that looks simple, but once you take that first bite, your taste buds cheer like whenever Harry caught the golden snitch in his first match. And this is exactly how I feel every time I eat rolls at Texas Roadhouse. And roasted chicken is the same way. There's nothing flashy about it, and it's one of those foods that everyone can relate to. You've always had roasted chicken sometime growing up. Even in a school full of magic, people still gather around roasted chicken, enjoying themselves, trying out new spells, or even sometimes getting chewed out by a very vocal letter. Another thing that I love about these dishes is that they aren't bound by any one time or place. You could find them on tables hundreds of years ago, and you can still find them on these tables today. Now, every time Christmas rolls around in Harry Potter, the scene is always set so beautifully. Snow falling outside, Christmas trees lining the Great Hall, and tables full of mincemeat pies. Now, if you've never had one, you'd assume that they'd have some sort of ground beef or lamb, but you'd find yourself wrong. Mincemeat pies are these small pastries that consisted of dried fruits, apples, and warm spices like cinnamon and nutmeg. They kind of smell like Kris Kringle is coming down the chimney to give me my very own invisibility cloak. Now, what I found interesting while researching these foods for the video is that mincemeat pies actually have a real history that fits perfectly with the Harry Potter world. Back in the 13th century, they used to contain meat such as minced beef or lamb mixed with fruits and spices, but over time the meat disappeared and they became these sweet desserts. It's one of those recipes that has evolved over centuries, just like how the magic did in Harry Potter. So the next time you see them in the movie, you might look at them just a little bit differently. And for tonight's feast, I made a batch for dessert. They're really small, but the smell has filled my whole kitchen, and even to this day, I still smell a little bit of cinnamon and nutmeg. And since this is the first time that my family's seen Harry Potter, I think it's going to be the perfect way to end the meal tonight. Now, when it comes to beverages in Harry Potter, we have to talk about pumpkin juice. It doesn't get the same attention as butterbeer, but it is the real everyday drink at Hogwarts, and you can find it at every table at every meal. And I always thought it was funny that in a world full of flying broomsticks and magical creatures, everyone's just drinking juice from a pumpkin. It's described as slightly sweet and a little bit of tangy, kind of like a mix between apple cider and a pumpkin puree. And it's not some fancy drink that you would have at a wizard pub, it's just that normal, everyday drink that you would have with your meals. And that's what makes this such a cool little detail. Even though Hogwarts is full of magic, it's still just a school. It's like whenever you're a kid and you're getting a milk with every lunch in middle school or high school, pumpkin juice was basically that for the Hogwarts students. And tonight, it's the one drink that I'm most excited for my family to try. Now, butterbeer is definitely the most popular drink, and it's crazy simple to make. I actually almost left it out of this video because the recipe took me maybe 1 minute to make. But the taste was so good that once filming was done, I acted like Dobby and disappeared with the rest for myself. Now, I may have been stingy like Dobby, but I wanted to share something with you. Just like in my last video, I made a cookbook with recipes from this video and a few others. I'll throw up a QR code for my TV viewers, but in the description below, there's a link to my fourth wall page where you can buy this for just $3. This allows you to share these foods with your friends and family, as well as support the channel so I can continue to make these videos for you guys. So check it out whenever you're done with the video. Now, whenever you really start to notice it, almost every big emotional beat in the series happens around food. Like in the beginning, Harry and Ron's first friendship moment happens on that train whenever they're sharing snacks from the trolley. And the first Christmas Harry ever truly enjoys is spent eating at Hogwarts with Ron and Hermione. Food always has a meaning for something, even if it's just a small one. So when I look at the table tonight with all the foods that are present, I'm able to really capture the journey of Harry Potter and share it with my family. By the time the table's set, my kitchen looks like the Great Hall after a Quidditch win. There's food everywhere, people laughing, mainly at the fact that my mother-in-law thinking that she's a movie star, and a faint smell of cinnamon in the air. I cook for my family often, but tonight is different because this is their first real step into the wizarding world. They don't know about Horcruxes or Quidditch or any of the magical creatures in the series, but through the food, they can start to understand the feeling of the world that they're about to witness. And that was the whole point of this feast, to make the magic feel real before there's any swishing or flicking of any wands. Now, as the lights go off and the first movie starts, the sound of the Warner Bros. Logo starts to fill the room. And for a moment, it really does feel like we're sitting in that great hall just waiting for our own wizard journeys to begin.